A lot of people think that the fact that Meek won the nomination for the Democrats is bad news for Charlie Crist, because there was more of a perception that Crist could peel off a lot of Democratic voters, especially if Jeff Green, who's much more of a wild card, was the nominee. Meek, many think, will get the established Democratic Party and its allies behind him. You know, the big teachers union, the labor unions, those kind of organizations that have always been there for Democrats. That will help Meek a lot. Rubio will get phenomenal help from the National Republican Party and State Party as well. So there's Charlie Crist. He's got no party. And what does that mean? That is going to be a real factor for Charlie Crist continuing in this race, which he will. But I think his star may dim a lot once the Republicans and the Democrats unite behind their candidates. Crist has the bully pulpit of the governor's office, and he can use that and exploit that fully. But Crist does run the danger of sort of disappearing in this field, I think.
Brett, I knew you were going to say something different about that.
And let me tell you why I differ with John is because of exactly what he said. And that is that Crist is the focal piece of both of those other campaigns. He is right now ahead in the polls. He's extremely well liked. He's got an extremely good job approval rating, especially when you consider the economy he's been dealing with. And every time I think that either Marco Rubio or Kendrick Meek have to go after Charlie Crist, they run the risk of eroding a little bit of their own base, because Charlie is the moderate, whereas you got Kendrick, most people to the left, and there's no question where Marco Rubio is. I mean, he is proud to be and has gotten to where he is by being the darling of the Republican right.
And that's a good angle that Crist is exploiting right now, that he's in the middle. You know, that Charlie Crist can be whatever you want him to be, because, you know, Meek is on the left and Rubio's on the right. So that is not a bad theme for Crist. But once that money starts pouring in and the TV ads start going up on both sides, I don't know. People got to remember Charlie Crist.
But I would not I mean, Charlie Crist is going to go after those Democratic voters, the moderate Democrats, but even some of the more traditional Democratic voters who, you know, this is a guy who was a Republican in April. He just got an endorsement from 5 Teamsters locals in the United States Senate race this past week. Charlie Crist did. The FEA, which is the teachers union, has co-endorsed Meek and Crist. While the AFL-CIO did endorse Meek, Charlie Crist went there and gave a big speech to the AFL-CIO and asked them to endorse him. This is the AFL-CIO, and this is a formerly Republican governor. Jeb Bush wouldn't have gone within 300 feet of an AFL-CIO event. Charlie Crist was at their convention asking for their endorsement, and he by some accounts, he almost got it. They wrestled over that for a couple of days. And I think some of the people see, some of these interest groups, which traditionally would be automatic Kendrick Meek supporters, are weighing whether Kendrick Meek can win.